Hi, everybody. I just came to tell you about this book called Who's the Joker in Bid Whist. This is a really good read. It's about 300 pages of interesting, written by Ellen Ashford. Even though she had her master's and taught college at Phoenix University, and she was a counselor. She taught college. Oh, and most importantly, she had a publishing company. Guess how she came about it? She had written, it was an author inside of her. She had written several books, and she couldn't get them published unless she did certain things that she didn't want to do, make them a little more commercial, and, just doing a lot of stuff that she didn't want to do. In order to keep the integrity of the book, she became a publisher. So, in her becoming a publisher, she got a publishing agency and she published a lot more books. This one she's extremely proud of. Excuse me, Colliding Heavens. Her brother did all of the artwork for both books. And this one is by her cousins, Odette Ashford and Nikhil Ashford. Two sisters. It's a book of poetry, and it's very good. I'll tell you about these two in a minute. But this one was the first one, and she loved it. And so did I. You would be very surprised to know who the Joker is in this book. This book took place back in the 60s, at a time when things were going on, but it wasn't so in your face as it is now. Like, take for instance, if an adult had beef with another adult, they didn't talk about that adult within earshot of a child. If a child was around and people watched their mouths, they had real good fun back in the 60s. But, it was done like it should be done. Everything was contained within its where it should be. My mother used to talk about the 60s all the time. I remember some things she said, like they would have card parties. And if you read this book, you kind of wonder, if you're from Muskegon, Michigan, which is where the publisher is from, you kind of wonder, do I know these people? Because I know my mother and my mom and dad would have card parties, and they had like a card party circle. They would meet at so-and-so's house this weekend, and then the following weekend meet at someone else's house, and then the following weekend meet at somebody else's house. And as my mother tells it was good, clean fun. But I'll bet it was other stuff too that they just didn't tell me. So, anyway, Ellen did pass in 2015, and I just had to mention this. At her eulogy, the minister obviously hadn't read the book, because the book seems obvious, Who's the Joker in Bid Whist, and he thought it was obvious enough to pretend like he read it, and he said, Ellen wrote this dynamic book on Who's the Joker in Bid Whist, and we already know who the Joker is in Bid Whist. Then you didn't read it. That was the sure telltale sign right there. He didn't read it. So it probably would have been best that he didn't mention it, no more to say that she was a publisher or whatever. But this is a good book. This is a good book. And she ended up having a company called Ashford's Publishing. Ashfords are proud people. And they do things with integrity, and they do things to their best ability. So, I know she spent many hours on this small book, but it's very interesting. So, I don't know, maybe one day I'll read it to you. If not, you really want to get this. If you're interested in buying it, just send me your email address and I'll see what I can work out. Thanks. Bye-bye.